Good afternoon. It is Sunday, August 25th, 2013. This is your Island Leader speaking. Here's what's happening. Well, last night, the Jets did beat the Giants on the scoreboard. Last night, there's going to be a whole lot of questions. Last night felt like a loss in so many ways. Okay? Last night, you saw the Jets make a plethora of mistakes. Okay? You saw a game, a very ugly football game, where you saw the Jets, yes, make a bunch of mistakes. It was more like the Jets showcasing mistakes than the Jets beating the Giants on the scoreboard. I mean, first of all, there are a lot of shaky holes. First of all, Geno Smith, who got the start last night, because, we didn't get to see him, last weekend. He got the start and got to play most of the game. Now, I thought Sanchez was supposed to start. I mean, isn't the third preseason game supposed to be a dress rehearsal for the starters, and they play most of the game? That's what I thought. Anyway. But this is anticipated that Smith was going to start. Okay, you're like, all right, fine, let him try against, a first string defense. He looked good to start. Beyond the fact that he was only aided by, 4 straight Giant penalties on the drive. Outside of the Giant penalties there, mistake after mistake on the encroachment penalties and everything else, Smith did lead a nice drive for a touchdown. He finished it off with a 23-yard touchdown pass to Ben Ogumanu. But I noticed he has an arm. He does have an arm. But often his passes were often like small ones. Like they weren't like, But after the touchdown there, which tied the game at 7, mind you, the defense, and that's another story. After that, Geno Smith, let's see the mistakes he made. Let's see. He threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which were in the first quarter. And fortunately, the Jets were only down 10-7 at halftime. And Geno, who played into the fourth quarter, caused his own miscue by running into the end zone. His own end zone, stepping out of bounds. Safety. At that point, the Jets were trailing 15-14. He did lead he did lead a nice drive for the Jets during the first possession for the Jets in the second half. He did. That was, a couple of nice passes there. One to, it might have been Stephen Hill. The next one was to Kellen Winslow. I know that. That looked good. But, it makes you wonder who's really going to start. Because, honestly, Geno did. It's one game. I know it's one game. But Geno didn't look very good. Okay? Now, in the middle of the fourth quarter, you think, all right, the starters are well out of the game now for the Giants and the Jets. But instead of perhaps going to the bench, no, you go to your other starting quarterback, Mark Sanchez. And boy. So Rex Ryan foolishly decides to put and Carl Banks, because mind you, the game last night was only on NBC, which is the Giants' preseason network. So the Jets had, the Giants were the home team last night. So Carl Banks is sitting there and he's like, why is Rex putting Sanchez in the game in the fourth quarter with second and third string? And boy, did we pay the piper for this one. Sanchez made one mistake. One mistake. It was a fumble on a snap, which the Giants recovered. He went 5 of 6. And unfortunately, on his final pass, where he scrambled to the left, got rid of it, made a nice play. I think it was Ben Ogumanu that caught it. In the process, next thing you see, Sanchez is on the ground, holding his throwing shoulder. It turns out that while under pressure, just as he got rid of the ball, the defensive line, I think Austin, his name was on the Giants, nailed Sanchez right in the throwing shoulder, and Sanchez was done. And he might be done for a while. Okay? We saw it with Chad Pennington. You see it happen to pitchers, thus leading them to Tommy John surgery. But he had to take off his jersey, and it was wrapped. It was ice. It was terrible. And it could be something to his collarbone. Apparently, from what I last understand, it's not a fracture. But Sanchez might be missing some serious time, and it looks like the quarterback starting has been made by default now with Geno Smith. Now, after Sanchez had to come out of the game, Matt Sims, yes, son of Phil Sims, came into the game. He looked impressive. But I mean, you also mind he's playing against third string. He's also playing against third stringers. You know, you're playing with a lot of guys, half of whom won't make the team. So I mean, it's like, I mean, look at all this. I mean, Sims still he did look impressive. Threw a nice dart of a laser to Spadola to give the Jets the lead there, 21-18. You know, but instead, you know, and in a preseason game, I mean, what's in the line in a preseason game? So I'm thinking, why is Tom Coughlin trying to play for overtime? He just wants to see more out of his personnel or something? Is that what it is? So the Jet defense, once again, you know, I mean, these are guys that aren't, you know, a lot of these guys ain't making the team. But, you know, Coughlin decides not to win. He decides to just play for overtime. So we go to overtime on a tying field goal, 21-21. So, again, Sims, you know, he made a great play in overtime, which set up the winner. And overtime was a disgrace in its own right because, let's see, after the Giants, who won the toss for overtime, fumbled the ball away to the Jets, second play from scrimmage in the overtime. I mean, you're thinking, all right, let's end this right now. Nick Folk misses a field goal from 39 yards that would have won the game. So, and you're like, great, crap. Giants get the ball back, they punt it away. The Jets on their own 2-yard line. Sims took the snap. He took the snap, scrambled to the right, and found Spadola wide open, like at midfield. The guy takes off. The Jets are well in Giant territory again. So they line up, kick a field goal. This time it's Billy Cundiff. Yes, Mr. Witness Protection Program in the 2011 AFC Championship game. Yes, so Cundiff comes on, and he kicks and he misses, but fortunately the Giants called a timeout. And my mom's watching this game too, and she's going nuts. So, I mean, you're thinking, okay, it's preseason, Mom. None of these guys are making the team. It's whatever. So it's like, you know, luckily the Giants called a timeout. They iced Cundiff. He missed the field goal on the play too. So Rex Ryan's like, no, let me get the offense back out on the field, which he did. They run down a few more plays, and then finally an easier field goal was makeable. Cundiff made it. Jets win the game. Whatever. And it's just like, whatever. There's a lot of holes. I mean, first of all, why did Rex put in Mark Sanchez? You want to put in Nat Sims, fine. You want to put in Greg McElroy, fine. But something tells me McElroy is going to be the weak link that's going to be off this team, you know, on September 1st. I mean, really. So, why Sanchez was in there with the second and third stringers, I really don't understand. It's either that he's trying to please the general manager who's clearly for Geno Smith, or, you know, maybe Sanchez is really not meant to win this quarterback competition. I mean, this poor guy has gotten a bad rap for the last 2 years. Okay, you messed with his head by giving him a contract extension and signing Tim Tebow. And obviously, and then you just make him more fragile-minded. Now, I understand you need competition, but why are you going to draft a quarterback for? Like, why? Geno Smith? I mean, and it turns out, I mean, the guy was, you know, he's this overhyped guy, and all of a sudden, I mean, Geno Smith, you know, he's taken in the second round. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of holes to be filled. And as for the defense, I mean, I don't know how many times I had to watch Kyle Wilson get flagged for pass interference. I don't know how many times I had to see that. You know, I think he got flagged 4 times yesterday. A couple times on, you know, I think it was once on illegal contact, and I think the other 3 were pass interference, if I'm not mistaken. The only part of the defense that looked really good yesterday among the starters was the defensive line. I was impressed by the defensive line. You know, they did a very good job, you know, stuffing the run and everything else. Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson, most notably, especially because we're going to be out Quentin Copels for a while. So, I mean, everything else. The linebackers look slow, you know, and the secondary is like, you know, apparently Cromartie's hurt. You know, Milner is hurt. So now you got to rely on Kyle Wilson getting toast all the time. You see them there celebrating, no good, up, flag, you know. Ugh. I'm getting sick and tired of Kyle Wilson. What is it, 3 seasons in now? Starting his 4th year? I'm getting sick and tired of him. What has he ever contributed? What, a couple of interceptions in his career? So you're looking at all this, and it's like, the defense, like I said, this was an ugly football. It was ugly. Jets and Giants. It was ugly. Okay? And now you had the field goal kicker situation. Nick Folk didn't impress, and neither did Billy Cundiff. I mean, really, I know Nick Folk has been here since 2010. You know, he had a couple of big kicks. But, really? I mean, this team, I swear. You get so tired of hearing the negatives. There's like no positives to say about this football team. I mean, you got the quarterback situation, you know. Our incumbent starting quarterback is hurt and may not be seeing the football field for a long time. We don't know. You got two rookies. Okay? Who's your veteran? Greg McElroy? He played a half of a football game last year for real. I'm sorry, excuse me, my mistake. He played a game and a half as a quarterback last year in the regular season. He beat the Cardinals in the second half and got destroyed by the Chargers. I mean, is that your veteran? All outside of that, you got, you know, two rookies that could, you know, throw the football. You know, I like their arm strength. But, I mean, you got inexperience that's practically asking to get destroyed. And I know Matt Sims are good, but how can he handle it versus a first-string defense? Yeah, he'll get to showcase himself on Thursday night when the Jets play the Eagles. But, I mean, so many things to address. So many things. I mean, everyone is aiming for a disaster season. 3 wins, 4 wins if they're lucky. I mean, everybody has made this team to be this, you know, a horrible team. From the owner down to the coach, who, by the way, was very defiant in his press conference last night about why he used Sanchez. You know, I didn't think about it at the time, and it's like, why did he use him? Are you kidding me? I mean, what a disaster this was. It was just out and out disgraceful. Like I said, 24-21, whatever. Yeah, we won on paper, but we lost in so many ways. What else is there to say? This team is a train wreck. Somehow, some way, they've won two preseason games where the starters have been outplayed in both of those wins. So, I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. And so many things. These poor coaching decisions, these things. This team is not ready. You've got, maybe you desperately try to get veteran wide receivers, and everyone's looking at them like a couple of wash-ups. Braylon Edwards, washed up. Ben Obumanu, washed up. Muhammad Massaquoi, who they acquired this week. They all seem washed up. And they were once all talented receivers. Okay? Granted, Muhammad Massaquoi played with the crappy Browns. Obumanu really wasn't much anyway with the Seahawks. So, and Braylon didn't see any reps yesterday. Okay? I don't remember seeing Braylon Edwards on the football field. Was he there? I saw him at the game, but, you know, still. I mean, what a disgrace. You know? So that, ladies and gentlemen, was your dress rehearsal for the Stars. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh my God. Everything. Everything with this team. Everything. Everything is scrutiny. You know, in the papers for these guys. Especially the Daily News, you know, and everything else. Okay? And these mainstream papers in this town. It's crazy. And I don't know. I really don't know. When your head coach and general manager aren't exactly on the same page with the quarterback, you got the general manager in favor of Geno Smith, you got the coach sticking to his guy of 5 years. And this is the nonsense? Really? Something tells me Rex is going to be gone before this year's over, and a lot of people are saying it. There are fans that are saying, "Oh, we can't wait for Rex to be fired." And you know, and I like this coach, but a lot of his decisions are very questionable. You know, he's more of a defensive coordinator, and I would love to keep him as a defensive coordinator. And, you know, but all the success that he has had, you know, in the past, I mean, unfortunately, you can't bring it back. You know, but this team is not ready. Not ready at all. With that said, I'm going to stop here for now. This is your Island Blader speaking. And while I'm probably not going to say much after the Eagles game on Thursday night, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Anyway, deuces for now. Summer's ending soon, folks. Football season will be around. Peace.